despite claims some people are being told they need to travel up to 100 miles for a test. It's emerged that with so much of the country's testing capacity aimed at the most at-risk areas, it means there is a shortage elsewhere. Well, the problem emerged as figures from NHS Test and Trace reveal the number of people testing positive is at its highest level since May. But Matt Hancock said that £500 million being invested in new rapid tests could help allow people to live freer lives. Our political reporter Shihab Khan has the latest. Well, joining me now is Global Health Advisor Oksana. Well, new quarantine rules have come into place for people arriving in Scotland from Greece. From 4 o'clock this morning, anyone returning will have to self-isolate for a fortnight. The Scottish Government said they made the change after they saw... Well, the next country thought to be on the government's sights for imposing quarantine on people returning to the UK is Portugal. The rate of infection there is currently above the 20 cases per 100,000 that ministers use as a threshold for stripping countries of their safe status. An announcement on whether to advise against travel there is expected soon. Our Europe editor James May. As we wait to learn which countries will be removed from the UK's safe list, the transport industry is warning of the effect the constant changes are having on the industry. In the last 24 hours, Britain's biggest airport, Heathrow, has begun consulting over the loss of around 2,500 jobs. And one airport boss accused ministers of overseeing the demise of the aviation industry with their policy. Well, joining me now is Juliet Loeb. Well, it's not just the travel industry facing the brunt of the pandemic. It is accelerating changes that were already being seen on our high street. Today, the coffee shop chain Costa has announced that more than 1,600 staff are at risk of redundancy, while the online giant Amazon has announced it will create thousands of jobs. So I'm joined now by... Start with Amazon. Big numbers they're talking about in job creation.
Lucrezia, this is really a story. 1,000. Now, unions have criticised the supermarket chain
Street, that coffee chain Costa, job loss. Thank you. The live entertainment industry took a huge hit when the country went into lockdown, where many venues are still, despite an easing of restrictions, unable to open because of social distancing rules. Today, the cast of Only Fools and Horses, the musical, took part in a protest in London's West End to show solidarity with those in the industry who have lost their jobs. Well, actor Paul Whitehouse is one of the stars of that show. I spoke to him earlier about why he's joining calls for the government to change the guidance on the opening of theatres. Well, Paul, you know what the guidance is as it stands at the moment. It's that theatres, they can open, but of course they have to socially distance. And as you say, that's a really big problem for theatres where you are. You're at the Theatre Royal Haymarket. These old venues, I mean, it's just not possible to do this and turn a profit at the same time. So you want the government to relax those guidelines on social distancing, don't you? There was, of course, this £1.5 billion bailout, if you like, for the arts. I mean, in your view, this rescue package, does it even scratch the surface when it comes to saving the industry? And long term, what are your worries about its future and for the people working in the industry? The actor Paul Whitehouse speaking to me a little earlier. And while live theatre struggles, cinemas have been open for a few weeks now, and releases that were delayed by lockdown are hitting the big screens. And finally, he is the illusionist whose previous stunts have included being buried alive and spending 44 days in a box without eating. Now, David Blaine has taken to the skies over the Arizona desert, propelled only by helium balloons. Warren Nettleford has the story. You wouldn't catch me out there. And that is it. Charlene White will be here with the ITV Evening News at 6:30. The news where you are follows the national weather. But for now, from everyone, bye-bye. Again, now the main stories in London. The football campaigning group Kick It Out say last season there was a rise in discrimination across professional and grassroots part of the game. It's weather now. Here's Sally. That is all from us for now. I'm back here at 6. Until then, whatever you're doing, enjoy your afternoon. Bye-bye.